An absolutely stellar performance in the Sugar Bowl, the national championship game between the UNC Trojans and the Alabama State Hornets. Dan Finnerty had a spectacular game, and so did Busta Rhymes Brown. Look at Joseph Cooley on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. Now here goes his records so far here at Alabama State. He's won 67 straight games. 67. This will never be done again. And of course, we never lost to our rivals. We have a great record versus the top 25 at 29-4. We now have 4 national championships, 4 in 7 seasons, along with 10 consecutive SWAC titles. And of course, our bowl record is looking better and better every season. We're not 8-3 in bowl games in the Joseph Cooley era. So there goes the Sugar Bowl trophy. There goes the national championship trophy. And for the first time in college football history, there has been a three-peat by a college football program. It's not an SEC program. It's not a Big Ten program. It is the Alabama State Hornets. 67 straight wins going all the way back to season 7. The last game we lost was against LSU in the season 6 national championship game. So, what can be said about the season 11 Alabama State Hornets? I mean, you could say the same thing about the season 10 Hornets, but I think we did things a lot better. We went down as the greatest offense of all time. We were averaging at least, 50 points a game. We had some great seniors on defense. We had the best running back of the nation in the backfield. He won the Doak Walker. He won the Maxwell Award. We thought he was going to win the Heisman, but that ended up going to our starting quarterback. And he also took home the Davey O'Brien Award, a.k.a. Best Quarterback. This offense was lights out all season. We could run the football. We had 3 wide receivers that had over 1,000 yards receiving. Even our backfield, we had running backs that ran for 10+ touchdowns each. And of course, how can we forget about the whole check defense? We had a lot of people that didn't have as much experience coming in this season. A lot of first-time starters, and they did not disappoint at all, man. What can I say? We've dominated on special teams. Had the best return man in the country. What can be said about this Alabama State team, dog? We were pretty much perfect in every aspect of football, no matter what you think about it. Maybe except for kicking, but other than that, we were absolutely magnificent all through the board. So we started off the season going up the Blacksburg, Virginia, taking on the Virginia Tech Hokies. And early on, we was hitting. Virginia Tech eventually got the run going against us. Patrick Carrier Ochocinco caught the first touchdown of the season on this screen pass. Dan Finnerty had a nice start to the season, finding Ruben Studdard-Smith on this catch right here in the back of the end zone. And he could be the next man up. We'll talk about him later, though. But Nate Reed, a season where he could have been the first Alabama State Hornet to win the Doak Walker Award. My man's got suspended twice this season. 5 interceptions, 6 pass deflections, along with 32 tackles. NFL scouts will be looking at those character issues as he gets ready for the NFL. And then you had Justin Frankie Beverly Mays enter the game on his 3rd touchdown run. We took care of Virginia Tech. That was a pretty hostile environment. Then we got the home opener, a top 10 matchup against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Defense early on started looking good, but then we started looking sloppy. But Kevin Garnett-Humphrey had a hell of a game versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He was playing lights out. He had 58 receptions, over 1,300 yards rushing, along with 17 touchdowns. Justin Frankie Beverly Mays doing what he does best. This might be his last season with us, man, and I won't be surprised. And look how those receivers are blocking downfield. Patrick Carrier Ochocinco, Kevin Garnett-Humphrey. We might miss both of them after this season is over. We'll find out later on, though. Now, the defense struggled for most of the game, but 4th quarter came and they finally figured it out. Kevin Garnett-Humphrey, though, 3 touchdown receptions in this game. That's a career high for him in one game. And we were all over Nebraska once the 4th quarter started. They couldn't do nothing on the run. They couldn't do nothing in the air. The defense, the Alabama State whole check defense, I should say, was lights out. Look at that pick right there. Ron Anderson was on an absolute clinic this season, and we took care of Nebraska 52-35, saying we're back at home again. This time we're taking on number 10, but it's the Purdue Boilermakers this time. Battle of the Black and Gold Part 2. Now, at this point, The game was tied at 7. Purdue was driving once again, and this time Ryan Anderson gets back-to-back games with interceptions. This time it's in the end zone, and we needed that very, very badly because we were struggling to stop Purdue. Brian Cook, the former 5-star out of New Mexico, had a receiving touchdown right here, had a rushing touchdown in the national championship game. Stone Cold Steve Austin Mason ran the football hard. He could be the next man up. He's a sophomore. Well, he just ended his sophomore season out of Fairfield, Alabama. Ruben Stutter-Smith, though, out of Yonkers, New York, had almost 1,400 yards receiving and 9 tutties on 53 receptions. The pass game was on a clinic in this game, dog. All of our wide receivers were cooking in this game. And look at this catch right here by Patrick Ochocinco. Look at the power. Look at the speed. No doubt he was the best wide receiver in the nation. Our whole check defense, though, they finally kicked it up. There goes Rashawn Pearson on that sack. And how can we forget about Justin Frankie Beverly Mays? Look at his numbers. 35 tutties. 2,159 yards on the ground on 224 attempts, along with a receiving touchdown. He won that Doak and that Maxwell for a reason. We beat Purdue, and it was a high-scoring game as well. Now, we went up against Prairie View A&M, and in this game, we was looking for our defense to play big. In the first 3 games this season, we given up at least 35-plus points. But this game, the whole Chet defense showed up against them Prairie View A&M Panthers. Even Chase McCrimmon showed up. His first career touchdown catch as a senior. He had butterfinger hands all throughout his collegiate career, but he finally figured that one out on that catch. So we would take care of the Purdue Boilermakers. We put them in a blender. We beat them 56-0. So then we go down to Tallahassee, second SWAC game of the season. FAMU is going through it. They're 1-3 coming into this game, and this was a wild start. On the opening kickoff, this cat right here, we thought he was going to do something, and then he fumbled the ball. Quincy Jones-Long recovers it. We're going back the other way, and on the very next play, we would end up scoring a touchdown thanks to Justin Frankie Beverly Mays. It wasn't this particular play right here, though, but Justin Frankie Beverly Mays went off in this game. Another cat that went off in this game was Luke Rivera. The man had 12 sacks on the season. He led the team, 32 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass deflections. Also, Wesley Pipes Dunbar, 345 on the ground on the season, a rushing touchdown. I believe he had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game on 24 attempts. We destroyed FAMU 70-24, and then we're back at the crib. We're taking on the pathetic Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Kevin Wilson, 30 tackles on the season. This was his only interception. He had 3 pass deflections. He did a great job taking over for Avery when he went down on an injury. Avery didn't come back to later on in the season. I believe he didn't come back to the national championship game. But nevertheless, Kevin Wilson had some great experience, and he's just a freshman. Patrick Ochocinco. This was the start of a trend for him. Whenever he catch the ball on the screen pass, it was guaranteed that he was going to score with it. But this defense, this whole Chet defense, was lights out all game. We destroyed Bethune-Cookman, no doubt about that. We had a lot of picks. We had a lot of sacks. There was nothing we couldn't do on defense, and there was nothing the Bethune-Cookman Wildcat offense could do to get through us. Buster Rhymes Brown, 50 tackles on the season, 8 sacks, 5 INTs, 4 forced fumbles, 8 pass deflections. Pretty sure NFL scouts will be looking at him. We beat them 66-7, and then we're back on the road. We're taking on another team that just can't get right. They have been down for a while, ever since their last SWAC championship game appearance, and that's the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. You saw the numbers on Rashawn Pearson, but this game belonged to Ryan Anderson. He had 3 tutties in this game. He had 1 pick six and 2 punt returns for touchdowns, 4 INTs on the season, 1 pick six, and he was named the best returner of the year. No question about that. 5 punt returns for touchdowns. And please believe NFL scouts will be looking very closely at him because he is one of the highest rated players in this season, man. He was absolutely amazing for us. This was his last season. He came all the way from California to play for them Alabama State Hornets. So we would destroy Mississippi Valley State. Then we go to the Bluff in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This game was messy. It was crazy. back to back for a few times. But then Stone Cold Steve Austin Mason in the run game, we had to rely on them to get away from these cats. Southern's passing game was absolutely magnificent in this game. We could not stop them early on. And of course, we had to slow down the pace of the game. But this play fake right here, look at this pass right here for Finity to Humphrey for a touchdown. This was huge because we were struggling with the pass game. Southern had that pass game going for them. And then, of course, we had to rely on the run game for most of the way. Wesley Pipes Dunbar on that run right there, that was absolutely amazing. But this catch right here by Patrick Collier Ochocinco, keeping 1 foot down in bounds. And then on the very next play, we will find him on the screen pass for a touchdown. We finally put Southern to bed. Then we go up the Rocky Top. We're at Neyland Stadium out here in Knoxville, Tennessee, taking on the Volunteers. After Justin Frankie Beverly Mays fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line, then the defense responded with a safety, and then the very next possession, Justin Frankie Beverly Mays redeemed himself with this big touchdown run right here. I believe he had 2 or 3 touchdown runs in this game. Keith Sweat Tito Jackson, another freshman that was balling out, 27 tackles, 1 sack, 3 INTs, along with 11 pass deflections. That were his only interception of the season. The Tennessee fans had enough, and we beat them 57-13. They thought they was going to do something because they was an SEC team. Now, Jackson State is another team that has given us some hell throughout the years. But Patrick Collier Ochocinco in this game will prove to be the best deep threat receiver in the nation. In this game, he had 3 touchdowns. He had 20 of the season, along with 1,600 yards receiving. This might be his last season with us, man. I'm not even going to hold you. Look at this catch right here, though. Brian Cook, the former 5-star. The pass game was absolutely on a clinic in this game. We beat Jackson State 45-7. We're back at the crib, and this time we're taking on the Grambling State Tigers, who were bowl eligible coming into this game. We were 10-0, and we came out the locker room swinging. Fumble, scoop, and score right here. That was Darren Smith picking up the ball and running it in for the touchdown. And this pretty much set the tone for the rest of the way, dog. Grambling State couldn't do anything with us, no matter what they tried. So you saw the scores to a lot of these games. Every game we scored at least 40+ points. Absolutely crazy, man. Look at that move right there, though, by Patrick Collier Ochocinco. And then you saw old boy right here, Justin Frankie Beverly Mays. Look at the feet. NFL scouts are pretty much licking their chops at him. No Diddy on that, though. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin Mason, though. Getting that thing into the end zone. This is one of his best games. Quincy Jones, long rest in peace to Quincy Jones, by the way. Had a pick 6, 3 INTs. We dominated Grambling. We beat them 70-12. And then our last game in the regular season at home, taking on the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions. Another game in which we dominated, and the defense made some big plays. Busta Rhymes Brown stripping that man right there on that big catch, and then Quincy Jones Long recovering the ball, taking it back the other way. This play right here set the tone the rest of the way against UAPB. Dan Finity on the season set some school records. 4,775 passing yards. 48 touchdown passes. The first quarterback in this dynasty to win the Heisman. And of course, the first quarterback to win the Davey O'Brien. Completed 65% of his attempts. And look at this run right here. Justin Frankie Beverly Mays has a montage of plays that you could just play all day, man. 63-10, the final score on that one. Then we go to Detroit, aka ASU Stadium Midwest. We're taking on Prairie View A&M once again. And this right here, everybody is calling the Motown Miracle. The ball got picked off. Then the defender got stripped. Patrick Collier Ochocinco picked it up and ran it back. And then Steve Harvey Lowe had his Jadeveon Clowney moment on this play right here. Baptizing the running back with the holy water and recovering that ball. He had a pretty decent season. We got him for 1 more year too. And then how can we forget about Ryan Anderson? On this play right here, Ryan Anderson solidified why he should have been named Returner of the Year. There was no question after he returned that ball for a touchdown during championship week. Patrick Collier Ochocinco is one of the best route runners we've ever had as a deep threat. We beat Prairie View A&M very badly. And then it was time to three-peat. Taking on the number 2 USC Trojans, who had a quarterback that was a Heisman Trophy finalist. On this touchdown right here, this cat right here won the Chuck Bednarik Award, and he was out for the rest of the game. And then this pass right here, a wild deep ball pass caught by Kevin Garnett-Humphrey, set the tone the rest of the way, and we didn't look back. Even Charles Irby, our fullback, got into the end zone. Buster Rhymes-Brown making the strip right there once again, and we recovered the fumble. And of course, Brian Cook would get his only rushing touchdown of the season, and that would turn out to be the last touchdown of our season as we took home another national championship, our 4th title in 7 years. And that concludes the Season 11 review. Join us next time. We got some news. Peace.